Good morning. Welcome to Canada AM on Friday, November the 9th. I'm Beverly Thompson, and our top story. From the Aston Martin DB5 in Goldfinger to the Lotus Esprit in The Spy Who Loved Me, James Bond has been behind the wheel of some pretty sweet rides. So just outside our Toronto studio, we have automobile columnist Patrina Gentili standing by with a sampling of some of the most iconic cars. Agent 007 has driven that one. Patrina, good morning. First of all, that one looks fantastic.
Oh, isn't this cool? This is the Lotus Esprit, and you might remember it from the movie The Spy Who Loved Me. It was great. Roger Moore played James Bond, and he actually drove it right off of a deck in Sardinia, and it went into the water, and it transformed into a submarine. It was really cool. The fins came up, the periscope came up, the wheels turned in. Really, really neat. And then, you know, this vehicle came back in the movie For Your Eyes Only. And if you notice here, this vehicle that we have here is the same one. Even the license plate is the exact same license plate that was in For Your Eyes Only. Now, it didn't really have much of a role in that movie. If you might recall, it actually self-destructed when a bunch of guys, you know, tried to break into it. And a Citroen sort of stole the show as the getaway car for Bond. So not exactly what you'd expect for Bond.
What's this one?
Well, now we're going into a new era. This is the BMWs. They sort of took over in the mid-90s, late 90s. This one is the Z3. And it's the vehicle from GoldenEye back in 1995. Had a small role, but again, it had the bulletproof glass and the missiles. This one I think is great though. We have to talk about the 750 IL. Again, it was a BMW car. It came out a couple of years later, and this one I loved. One of my favorite car chase scenes of all time. Pierce Brosnan is James Bond, and it's in Tomorrow Never Dies. He's in the parking garage, and he controls the vehicle remotely. Comes up to him, tear gas spews out of it, and he actually jumps into the car and lies down in the back seat, and he's controlling it remotely, shooting off missiles. It's such a great scene. Tire spikes are coming out of the bottom. Unfortunately, has a really kind of sad end for this vehicle. He jumps out of the car and it sort of dives off the top of the parking garage and into an Avis rental car store below.
I actually do remember that scene. I love that scene. Oh, look at this one.
Now this one is another BMW, the Z8. And it came out a couple years later in the next movie, The World Is Not Enough. Again, it didn't really have a good ending for this vehicle. If you recall this one, Pierce Brosnan, again, is James Bond, and he sort of this car ends up getting chainsawed in the middle, cut right in half, with this huge helicopter that comes whisking down with this massive power chainsaw, and Bond ends with, Q's not going to like this. And then we sort of jump into the 2000s when Aston Martin returns as the halo car for James Bond in the Vanquish in 2002. After that, we really know that Aston Martin, I mean, that was the iconic car for James Bond. It really all started with the DB5, if you can remember from Goldfinger back in '64. That's when we really saw, you know, that this car with all the lethal goodies on it. It had the ejector passenger seat, the rotating license plate, the machine guns. It was iconic, and it really made a mark for Aston Martin, and it really secured the name as, you know, synonymous with 007. And now, of course, in Skyfall, which opens up tonight, we'll see the Jag. This is the car that M gets chauffeured around in. And of course, it doesn't have a lot of gadgets in it or anything like that, any fancy stuff like that. And then we see some other cars that come back as well. I can't tell you which ones come back. I don't want to spoil it for you.
I'm just laughing, Patrina, because we're getting, you know, two of your favorite things, right? I mean, wonderful cars and Bond.
Exactly. Can't go wrong.
Did you ever think you'd be standing there surrounded by all those beautiful cars?
No, not in a million years.
What an absolute pleasure to kind of say. I'll be right out, by the way, Patrina. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next on Canada AM.